I'm back up at the property. We pulled the tractor up into the garage here. We're going to start doing some service work on it. There's the cap to the transmission. I pulled this out. And I've got milky white fluid in there. That is not supposed to be like that. So, to me, there's water in it. So we'll drain that out. There's a couple of hydraulic leaks that we have to fix. So we'll set that up and start working on it. Alright, I removed the seat onto it. And then remove the main housing over the engine. Pop the air filter. Got a new air filter for it, so we'll pop this one off and see what this thing looks like. It's got a wing nut to hold it on. Very nice. Boy, doesn't that look nice and pretty? Now it will have some clean air coming through. Previous owner put in some quick disconnects back here on the controls here for the back scraper and stuff. And it has a leak on one here. So what we're going to do is take this apart and reseal all these lines so we don't get hydraulic leaks. It's nice to have the quick disconnect, so if I change out implements in the back, I can quickly take them off and put new ones on. So what we'll do is we'll get some Teflon tape around all these fittings and fix these up. So I pulled the fittings off and threw some Teflon tape along these fittings here. We just ran it and it seems not to be leaking anymore, so we'll leave that the way it is and move on to the next project we need to do to put this tractor together. One at a time, and this thing should be alright, let's get the oil plug out. Oh, yep, got it. Okay, remove the deck pan so we can get access to find out. We wanted to find out what this actually fuel line or fuel dip was, and it is for the hydraulic system. So the hydraulic system for this tractor takes 18 or 19 gallons, so we'll have to change that out later. But I went through and cleaned a lot of the dirt and debris that had built up over the years that no one's ever cleaned up. So we'll figure that out, and then I'll put all the deck pans back in. I do have some wires that are cut and broken here, probably to the tail lights and stuff. So we'll deal with that later. But I'm gonna clean the rest of this out, and then we'll put the deck pans back on, and then go through and work on change out the gearbox fluid, since now I know that this here's for the hydraulic system, and this here's our gearbox, so I can drain that out and get that changed out. But we're just cleaning everything up so it looks nice and neat, and figuring out how all this stuff works. Well, there's the buckets of oil that we actually removed out of the rear differential. There's water all into it, so they're nasty. Online it said there was about 4 gallons, but we had an issue. A little more than 4 gallons, so it spilt everything up underneath of it. We have that set in. I finally figured out what which oil goes where. Our thicker gear oil will go on the rear end, and our transmission fluid, I need to get another 2.5 gallons, will go into the transmission. But tomorrow we will put together the back of the casing here, put the seat back on, come through. I've got a small leak here in the fuel line system, so we'll change the fuel filters out and fix that leak, and then it should be running pretty good. So we're getting run out of here by the bugs. They're all up on the lights and stuff. So we're gonna call it a day, about 9 o'clock. And we'll go take a shower and put stuff together, and we'll set it up and fire it up tomorrow. I threw some diesel into the back axle area, let it soak for a little bit, then I'll drain it out first thing in the morning and let it dry a little bit. I might clean it out a little bit today, but we can get that set up to where it drains it out, cleans it a little bit, and then I'll change the oil out in that rear end probably within a month, so I get good no oil into it. But that's where we're at now. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, that's next morning, back at it again. I drained the diesel from the rear end, clean that out a little bit. I'm gonna let that air out, and then what we'll do is put gear oil into it. At 9 o'clock, I gotta go get some more Hytran transmission fluid, and then we'll get the transmission fluid set up. We'll put it back together. What I found out with what I looked at and the way all the services have been done on this tractor from the former owner, I figure every one of these Zerk fittings, wherever I've got a moving part, there's probably no grease in it. You need to maintain these things, put grease in these things to keep them going. This is a 1974 Case 580 tractor. It's 44 years old. These things will run for a long time, but you do have to maintain them and keep the work on it, and this one's just hadn't been done. So we'll get all the new fluids into it, and it'll run good. We'll probably need to buy a new set of tires onto it. Tires are a little shredded out, but I figure once I get tires on this tractor, it'll run for the next 30 years, and I'll probably never have any problems with it here on the homestead. Let's throw some grease in these fittings. 45 to do, so I'll get going. Well, the tractor's all put back together. I took it out for a ride for a little bit. It seems to be working a whole lot better. Fluids are all done. I still got high temperature on the water, so come next week we'll have to redo that. But tractor made it up here. I think it's going to do a good job. Filled up some air pressure for the tires. Back tires really need to be redone. Got some big cuts into them, but I've got no more hydraulic leaks. And it'll just be a project that we will work on here at the property, but I think the tractor will actually serve its purpose for cutting everything and putting roads into. I still have one fuel leak. It's coming from the fuel pump, so the injector pump, I'll change that out, but that's what the tractor will look like. We'll have to get it cleaned up and keep it working. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.